Welcome to ECE 476, lecture number 1. In this lecture, we're going to go over the course, an introduction to the class, along with the syllabus. Now, the first question you might ask is, what is an embedded system? An embedded system is an electronic device that includes a microcontroller. Typically has inputs, sensors so you know what's going on in the world, outputs, meaning actuators, do something, and a microcontroller, which controls the outputs based upon the inputs using software. So this is a fun course where you get to build, program, test, and demonstrate various devices. And having a microcontroller really frees up what you can do. This is a senior level course. And what that means is typically students don't know what you don't know. So this course has 35 lectures, is 35 things you can do with microcontroller. In terms of what is advanced embedded systems, this course looks at mid-level programming. So in programming, there's kind of 3 different levels. 376 embedded systems, the prereq for this course, looks at low-level programming. There we use C and assembly to read the registers, drive the outputs directly using fairly simple code. So for example, we'll look at how to generate 100 Hertz, 30% duty cycle square wave, using C code or assembly. That's low-level programming. Mid-level programming is this course. We focus on more complicated programs using driver routines that access the hardware. And we also use mid-level programming, a higher-level program called Python. For example, we'll do things like control the speed of a motor using pulse width modulation. High-level programming would be things like a Raspberry Pi. That's typically when you use things like AI languages. You do things like get a quadcopter to swarm, do gradient search, find the gas leak in the field. That'd be high-level programming. This class is focused right here on mid-level programming using Python and a Raspberry Pi Pico. In terms of how this course compares to 376, is kind of completely different. In 476, we are focusing on mid-level programming rather than low-level programming. We use a different language, Python, rather than assembly in C. Python is about 3 to 10 times slower than C, but a whole lot easier to write and debug. Basically, if you know MATLAB, you know Python. The microcontroller we're using is different. We're going to be using a Raspberry Pi Pico. It's a processor that came out in 2021. The W version that we're using came out in 2023, so it's a fairly new microcontroller. There's not a whole lot of software written for it out there yet. And in terms of inputs and outputs, we'll be doing serial, a graphics display, touchscreen, analog inputs, and analog outputs. So do you need 376 to take this class? Not really. It's a different processor, different language, different objectives. If you want to go back and need a refresher, a good place to go is Bison Academy. On Bison Academy, it's got a dozen courses taught in electrical computer engineering. You can go back and see what we did in electronics, what we did in embedded systems. So if you ever need a refresher, that's the place to go. In terms of what's new in this class, we're going to be using a new processor. It's the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico W. This is a $6 microcontroller from Adafruit or PiShop. It features a dual-core ARM Cortex microcontroller running at 133 megahertz. It's got 2 meg flash memory, 256 4K RAM, 6 independent banks, 30 GPIO pins, 4 12-bit A to Ds, 2 UARTs, 2 I2C ports, 2 SPI ports, 16 PWM channels, 1 timer with 4 alarms, 1 real-time counter, 8 state machines, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's a lot. It's a really powerful microcontroller. Another thing that's new this semester is the development board. This came out during March 2024. I saw it on Amazon and thought, I need this. Not sure why I need it, but I need it. I need to build a course around it. It's a development board from 52Pi. It's got a graphics touchscreen, joystick input, RGB LED, push buttons, buzzer, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. Totally impressive. Saw this puppy, thought I need to build a course around it. That's the 476 Advanced Embedded. Another thing new in this course is Python. Python is a mid-level programming language very similar to MATLAB. It's an interpretive language. I can sit there and type in commands just like the command window in MATLAB, get results. I can write scripts, I can write programs, all in Python. It's a very friendly, very powerful language, easy to use. And the compiler for it is free. Just search for Thani, download, and you get the compiler. Plus, you can do things like donate money to Ukraine by click of a button if you want. Pretty nice piece of software. In terms of where we're heading in this course, the first couple weeks, first 11 lectures, are just a background on Python programming. It's how to write a program in Python, read binary inputs and outputs, do serial I/O, read analog inputs and outputs, how to drive motors with binary inputs, how to drive motors with analog inputs. Then we'll have test number 1. The next 12 lectures look at some of the libraries in Python. As a mid-level programming language, you can import libraries and suddenly you have access to more routines. I can drive the graphics display. I can use the touchscreen. I can do random numbers, matrix operations. Like 376, you've got interrupts on this microcontroller. You can do edge interrupts, timer interrupts, and with that, control the speed of a motor, angle of a motor, read and write text files, read different types of sensors, temperature, pressure, humidity, heart rate, then test number 2. At the end of the semester, we'll then look at SCI GPS sensors, neopixels, bright colorful LEDs controlled through Python. We'll then look at how to send and receive data to your cell phone. I can do that using Bluetooth. I can do that using Wi-Fi. Then we have the third test. So that's kind of a test, the course in a nutshell. A really powerful microcontroller. These are the features we're looking at. It can do more, but we kind of run out of time in the course. In terms of course information, I'm the instructor, Jake Lauer. My office is Offerdale North, 244M. Class time is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. You can attend in person at Dolby 118 or live stream on Zoom. There's a lab for the course. It's kind of do the labs on your own time. There's a lab kit. The course is really designed for online students. So it doesn't matter where you are, just have the lab kit. You can do the course anywhere you have access to a computer. My office hours are pretty much whenever I'm in my office. Typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon to 2, 11 to 4 p.m. Otherwise, I tend to be in class. The textbook is Bison Academy. If you need a refresher on Python or learn more about Python, W3 Schools is a really good website as well. The course objectives is by the end of the semester, you should be able to interface the microcontroller to binary inputs and outputs, analog inputs and outputs, use the graphics display, the touchscreen, send and receive data to your cell phone using Bluetooth, send and receive data using Wi-Fi, all using Python. In terms of the textbook for this course is on Bison Academy. If you go to Bison Academy, that's the semi-official website for the ECE department at NDSU. You have access to a dozen different courses. Click on 476. It'll take you to Advanced Embedded. For the Advanced Embedded website, it's got all the lectures, the course syllabus laid out for the entire semester, all the lectures saved as PDF files, all the lectures recorded and uploaded to YouTube, accessible through Bison Academy, sample code used in the lectures, and then the homework sets. If you click on homework sets and solutions, you can see homework sets and solutions to previous semesters. You want to get an idea how to write the code. The homework problems change every semester, so you can't just use the code verbatim, but it usually gives you ideas for how to do different things in Python. Another good place to go is W3 Schools, like I mentioned. That's just a great tutorial on Python programming, as well as C and HTML and other programmings. Under Best of 476, this has some of the better homework sets that students have done over the last couple of years, and with their permissions uploaded and shared on Bison Academy. In terms of lab kits, there is a required lab kit for this course. The lab kits are $65, cash or check, made out to Society of Women Engineers. The lab kits have actually about $67 in parts in them. We lose money in every kit, but keeps things simple if we have the advanced embedded kits cost the same. The lab kits also make the course a whole lot more fun and understandable. So you're going to need a lab kit. In terms of how you take the course, totally up to you. This course is offered in the full HyFlex mode. You can take the course in person. You can live stream it on Zoom. You can take it online by watching the YouTube videos, whatever you want to do. If you ever want to take it in person, there's plenty of seats. Typically by the third week, only 1 or 2 people show up in person. So if you want to show up in person, you're more than welcome. If you want to watch the YouTube videos, go right ahead. As long as you can do the homework, I'm good. In terms of grading, the grading this course is there's 3 tests and homework sets. Each counts 1/4 of your grade. There is no final. The final is really the 3rd test. Grading is rounded to the nearest 1%, with 90% guaranteed A, 80% guaranteed B, and so on. If you want to get an A or B in the course, do the homework. Again, programming is a lot like weightlifting. You got to do the work. If you watch somebody else do the work for you, it doesn't help. You got to write the programs yourself. You got to go through the struggles of figuring out how to get the code to work, how to debug it, what the problems are. And that's kind of what the tests are for. If you did the homework, the test should be much more doable. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. In terms of homework and lab projects, you can work in groups of 1 or 2 on the homeworks and labs. Exams serve as a check to see that you're doing the homework. Exams are individual effort. So if you're in a group of 2, somebody else does the work and you're giving moral support, that shows up on the tests. In terms of the homework, they tend to be open-ended assignments. You oftentimes can modify, change, do something different than the homework assignment. And they typically include 4 parts: the requirements, hardware and software design, test validation, demonstration. So if we do something like using the analog inputs and outputs, you can make up your own assignment as long as you're using an analog input and output. I'll then look at the hardware and software. How do you come up with hardware to meet your requirements, the code to meet your requirements, then test and validate your design, followed by demonstrations. That's typically how the homework sets go. And the demonstrations are what shows up under BEST 376. In terms of ChatGPT and AI, they do exist. Can't deny that. They actually can be useful. Usually they're the bane of instructors like myself, but you can use them. If you ever want to learn new commands, new programming tricks and techniques, HTML coding is a good example for web pages. ChatGPT and AI are really good. They know all sorts of tricks in HTML programming. However, do not turn in code or hardware designed by ChatGPT or AI. Typically, the code they generate is 90% correct, 10% pure nonsense. It won't run. If you turn in code that's 10% pure nonsense, I'll grade accordingly. So again, if you use ChatGPT or AI, just use it to get an idea of list of commands, then write a code to solve the homework problem sets. And do that yourself without using ChatGPT or AI. Again, that's how you learn how to code. That's how you learn to debug your code. You can get ideas from ChatGPT, but don't rely on it. On the homework sets, I pretty much always ask you to demonstrate your homework as well. The demonstration can be in person, demonstrate over Zoom, make a recording and post the recording on Blackboard, or post on YouTube and send me the link. Any of those work. Partly I do that as my anti-AI technique. In order to get your code to work, you got to kind of understand how it works, and you have to understand how the coding works. Again, ChatGPT and AI tend to wind up with code that doesn't run. Another reason for doing this is it makes the course a whole lot more fun. Whole reason you go into engineering is you want to build stuff. This is a course where you get to build things. And finally, some legal stuff. Attendance is required. However, how you attend is up to you. In person, live stream, Zoom, your pick. You watch the YouTube videos. If you have special needs, we will accommodate you. In terms of honesty, the stuff that you learn in this class is stuff you're going to use when you graduate. So if you can figure out a way to get an A without learning anything, please don't. It's a whole lot better to learn the material here in the class than when you graduate and your boss realizes you don't know anything. And finally, if you're a veteran, something comes up, you get deployed, we will accommodate you. So that's the course in a nutshell. It is a fun course, a course I really, really enjoy, a course I hope you enjoy as well. It's a course where you get to use a fairly powerful microcontroller with a touchscreen, graphics interface, interface to your cell phone with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, analog, binary, inputs and outputs. Really powerful microcontroller. Of course, I hope you're going to enjoy. Of course, I really enjoy as well. So that's Advanced Embedded Systems in a nutshell. Hope you enjoy the course, and I look forward to working with you this semester.